At a request, I'm going to make a video of how to create waybills. We're going to do several different types. Firstly, we're going to look at making a basic 2-cycle waybill. And then we're going to go into making 3 or more cycle waybills to give you more interaction on your layout. And then we're going to look at making special rare waybills to add to your layout to make more of a dynamic feel to your freight and your operations. Okay, so firstly, we're going to create a waybill by going to Waybills and then create. So the first thing we're going to do is say we want to create some logs going from a logging industry to the lumberyard. So we'll just make a simple 2-cycle waybill. So obviously this is going to go on flat cars. You can add as many waybills as you want. So for instance, this one I'm going to do 10, which will give me a probability of 17% of this particular waybill of being assigned to a flat car. So what we're going to do is firstly we have to go pick up the logs. So we're going to send our first instruction to Horseshoe Falls, and that is going to go to the log loadout, and obviously it's going to be empty. And then you can adjust the turnaround time to whatever you want. For this one, we're just going to leave it as a standard turnaround. So that basically gets our flat car to the industry empty, ready to be loaded at the log loadout. So once it's loaded with logs, we then need to send it somewhere else. So for a simple 2-cycle waybill, what we would do was send this to a Rockwood subdivision, which is where our lumberyard is. And obviously this will be filled with logs. And again, you can adjust the turnaround time of how quickly the logs are unloaded. So if your lumberyard is renowned for getting filled up quite quickly, you can speed this up by doing a faster turnaround. And that means the logs will be unloaded quicker and the flat car will then be released back into the pool of cars for your layout. So that's basically it for that one. And we can save that. Waybill created with 2 instructions. So let's do another one. This one is going to be a gondola. Again, we're going to give it 10. Now this one's going to have a probability of 24%. So we've got an empty gondola. Where we're going to send it? Well, for this one, we're going to send it to Walnut Ridge, and we're going to send it to the coal tipple. And again, a standard turnaround. Obviously, if you want to do more prototypical operations, you can leave it at the coal tipple for longer. And that can all be adjusted on the fly as well if you want to change it later on. So our gondola has arrived at Walnut Ridge coal tipple. It's empty. We need to send it now somewhere with coal. So for this one, again, we're going to go to Rockwood, but we're going to go to the power plant coal unloading. And obviously it's going to be filled with coal. Again, we can adjust the turnaround time to whatever you like. So this is a simple 2-cycle waybill. It's going to Walnut Ridge, empty. It's getting filled up with coal. It's then going to Rockwood subdivision, coal unloading with coal. Once this waybill has finished, it will be removed from its assigned gondola, and the gondola will then return to its staging yard or its classification yard assigned when you created the gondola. Obviously, if you have yard mode switched off, that gondola would then get a brand new waybill as it sits in the coal unloading, which will then be told to be picked up to go elsewhere. But again, this is 2-cycle waybill. We're going to save that. So that's basically how you get a car to go somewhere, pick something up and deliver it. You don't have to send it back to the yard because the car itself will do that. Okay. So let's do an example of 3 or more cycles. So for this one, we're going to have a box car. I'm just going to create, say, 5 of these. 18%. So it's quite low because this is going to be something that doesn't happen very often. So 18% is a good balance for that. So this one, what we're going to do is we're going to send it to High Creek workshops, and that's going to be empty, and it's going to sit there for a standard turnaround. So what's it going to do at the workshops? Well, this particular one is going to basically pick up some damaged tools, and it's going to take it to Pine Hill blacksmiths. And like I say, it's going to have damaged tools. This is actually a commodity that I've entered, so this is a special commodity. So it's going to take the damaged tools to the blacksmith, but I want it to stay there for quite some time. So I'm actually going to lengthen this a little bit, so it stays there for a little bit longer, because what we're going to find is, like I said, this is going to be a 3-cycle waybill. So it's going to unload the damaged tools. It's going to sit there for a while. And then what it's going to do, it's going to return back to High Creek workshops. But this time it's going to have new tools. So what this is going to do is going to go from High Creek workshops, empty. It's going to go to Pine Hill blacksmith with damaged tools. And then it's going to go to High Creek workshops again with tools. And again, I can lengthen that down just to say, okay, the tools are going to take some time to empty, so I'll leave it there for longer. And again, once this waybill has been completed, this boxcar will then have this waybill removed. If you've got yard mode on, it will return back to its yard. Now, if the yard is High Creek, then what it will do is it will get a new waybill straight away. But if it's like a staging yard, this boxcar will get returned back to the staging yard automatically. You don't have to add the instruction to return it. So this is our 3-cycle waybill, and we can save it. Let me give you another example. Say we have a flat car. Again, let's make this quite a low probability one. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go to Horseshoe Falls. We're going to go to the log loadout, standard turnaround. We're then going to go to Rockwood Subdivision. We're going to go to the lumber yard. We are going to let's have a look, logs. Okay. So it's going to take logs to the lumber yard, but then it's going to turn around. So it's going to go to Pine Hill, and it's going to go to the barge loading track, but this time it's going to be carrying lumber. So this is another 3-cycle waybill, just so you understand. It's going to go to Horseshoe Falls empty. It's going to pick up some logs. It's going to take those logs to the lumber yard. And then from the lumberyard, it's going to go to Pine Hill barge loading with lumber. So what we can assume here is that logs get unloaded, and then it gets loaded with lumber and takes that to Pine Hill. Now, again, if you want to add a bit more realism, you can lengthen that to say, well, it's going to take some time to unload the logs and then load the lumber. Yeah, so you can do that. What you can also do is something like this. I can take it to the lumberyard with logs. I can then assign it to the same place, Rockwood Subdivision, but I'm going to send it to the wood shop. This time it's going to be empty because we've dropped off the logs. And then from the wood shop, I can then send it to Pine Hill, barge loading with, actually, let's take some wooden beer kegs to the brewery. There we go. So this is a 4-cycle waybill. So we've got a flat car going from the log loadout empty, turning up to the lumberyard with logs. It's then going to turn up to the wood shop empty, and it's then going to turn up to the brewery with beer kegs. So you can see what's happening here. It turns up empty, logs get loaded. Logs get sent to the lumberyard, it gets emptied. It then goes empty to the wood shop. It then gets filled with beer kegs, and it takes those beer kegs to the brewery. So this is a 4-cycle waybill. And we can save that. Waybill created with 4 instructions. Let's say you want something quite rare. Now, quite rare would be something like if you want, say, a boxcar to be damaged. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this a rare waybill. It's only going to have 3% once it's actually put into the pool, so it's going to be very rare indeed. What we don't want to do is send it straight to High Creek. We've got a repair in place track. We don't want to do that, because what will happen is, say you have 2 of these, right? What might happen is that your car may get this. Once this is finished, it may get assigned with the same one. Obviously, there's only 7% chance of that happening, but it can happen. So what we recommend is you actually follow a waybill that you previously had. So for instance, we've got something like Rockwood Subdivision, Food Processing Warehouse, empty. We're then going to go to Pine Hill. We're then going to go barge loading with packaged foods from the food warehouse. But then what we're going to do is we're going to realise why it's at Pine Hill, that it gets damaged. So what we're going to do is we're going to send it back to High Creek to the repair in place track, and it's going to be empty. We're going to leave it there for a very long time because obviously it needs to be repaired. So we can actually type in here, defect found, return for repair. Okay, so this instruction here will actually appear on the waybill itself when this gets assigned, but you won't see it. So you will think that this boxcar is actually doing its normal thing. It's going to the food warehouse, it's getting loaded with food, it's going to the barge loading track. Okay, and then after it's been emptied, they're going to realise there's a defect, and it's going to get sent back to the RIP track in High Creek. And obviously once that's sat there for some time, this waybill will get removed from the boxcar. The boxcar's deemed to be repaired, and it will get a new waybill. You don't have to do it as a 3-cycle. I could actually delete that one. I could have it empty at Rockwood. They could discover at Rockwood that it's got a defect, and we can send it straight to the RIP track. Obviously it's going to be empty because it's not going to fill up with anything, and again we can put defect found, etc, etc. So yeah, we don't have to do it as a 3-cycle. We do it as a 2-cycle. You can do it as a single cycle and send it straight to the RIP track, but say you do run into the issue of it being issued twice. If it's just a single one, then you can quite safely send it to the RIP track, because there's only going to be one issued at any one time, so you know that it's not going to get the same one twice. We can do something else here. We can actually send it to the icing track. Obviously that will be a reefer. So we can send a reefer empty to the icing track. We can leave it there for a long time. So this reefer will actually be out of commission for some time. And this will be ice refill, for example. So you will see that on the waybill. So yeah, basically as soon as this gets issued to this reefer, it's going to get refilled with ice. It will then get removed from the reefer, and the reefer will get a new waybill, or it will return to its yard that you selected on the car itself. So there's different ways to use waybills, and different ways that you can add more and more interest to your layouts by changing different waybills. Again, just add lots of a variety of waybills, and that means your cars will have a lot more opportunity to be scattered around your layout doing different things. And as you see, it's completely customizable to do as you want. So I hope this helped, and enjoy making your waybills and your layout more interesting. Thanks very much.